Towers are one of the most iconic elements when making terrain, sometimes being part of a larger structure like a castle, others the wizard or outpost type in a desolated area. You can find them out of stone or wood, square or any other geometric shape based. What it's clear to me is that the possibilities are endless. Hi everyone, this is Daniel from Uncharted Ways, and today we're making a tower. The first question that you should ask yourself when you're making a tower is about the dimensions. How tall is it gonna be and what is the shape of the base? In this case, I am limited by the size of the diorama where this tower will be placed. That's right, our characters will be passing by this tower on their Uncharted Ways, and in the next video I will be replicating that landscape. But now let's get back to the tower. We're gonna make an hexagonal base tower that is wider in the base and that has 5 levels. It will have a bridge that is broken and with a main door that is in the opposite side of the bridge, being accessible through a wooden structure for defensive purposes. The higher you go, the stronger and more resilient the base, that's clear. So there's an easy way, just use a big chunk of foam and glue the different parts that we're gonna make to it. There's nothing wrong about that, because anyway we're not gonna make the interior visible. But because in this channel we try to reuse as many materials as possible, I'm gonna put in the middle of the structure this cylindrical package because it will add great consistency. Going back to our hexagonal base, we're gonna cut 2 shapes of cardboard of different sizes because we want our first part of the tower increasingly wider towards the bottom. So how do we make a perfect hexagonal base? Well, the easiest is based on answering the following question. How long is each of its sides? We said 5 centimeters. As you see, I don't have a compass, but a piece of cord will do. For the walls of the tower, I'm gonna use foam board 5 mm thick on the first level and then 1 centimeter thick because we need something thicker if we want it to hold on. In both cases, it's actually super helpful, even if it takes a bit of time, to actually draw some templates so we're sure everything is of the exact size, because unfortunately small differences in size will have a big impact. Okay, all our side walls are drawn, and now comes the fun, drawing bricks. I know, it will take like forever, but think that actually we could be cutting bricks and putting them one by one. All of a sudden it doesn't seem that much work to draw them, right? I was asked what should you use for making brick shapes of foam, and truth is that you can use almost anything. If you want a sharp, clean cut, use a hobby or utility knife. If you want a wider cut, you don't have a specific tool, just use a pencil. Alright, let's start already. I would call my shadow clone to help me out with the bricks, but I think he's a bit cranky since we managed to paint 1 army in 1 day against his prediction. Bwah! You finished banners and bases the day after. Okay, that's actually true, but it was great. Anyway, do you wanna help me with bricks now? Pass. Of course. No worries. Let's start already then. I actually don't mind doing this because I can listen to a podcast meanwhile. It's true, it's a bit repetitive, but from time to time I like doing this kind of activity to kinda disconnect. This is a lot of bricks, and you might be thinking, well, the bigger the tower, the more bricks. But even if you make a couple of windows, this tower looks a bit boring. Like it's all the same. And you're right, we're gonna continue adding another layer of foam to make our tower a bit more interesting. You can always carve on foam to get different shapes, but having at hand 3 mm foam board, it's actually super easy to add some relief. But first, let's put everything together. And for the final texture, some touches of the mighty aluminum foil ball, and we're finally ready to glue. If you can add easily durability to your creations, go for it. For instance, a modular tower would be automatically more resilient. But in this case I didn't do it that way because our characters from Uncharted Ways never got the chance to go inside. but a modular tower is something that I would definitely wanna do in a future video. I'm gluing in two phases. First, just on the base, and to make sure it doesn't move, I'm gonna put the third hexagonal base on top. I'm gonna let the glue work overnight, and then the day after, I'm gonna tighten up the walls a bit with some tape and add a bit more glue. I found that the easiest way was to put the glue from the top in the crevices and it will slowly go down. For sure, that's how architects do with cement. So what next then? I'm gonna glue some cardboard painted in black inside of the windows. Why? Because as we're not doing anything inside, we cannot leave a wide view. And to paint everything inside in black feels like a huge waste of time and resources. For filling the small gaps between each of the wall sections, we're gonna use a texture paste. You can go and buy some, but you can also do like me, because it's actually quite easy to make and way cheaper. Just grab some plaster, white glue and water and mix it together and start applying it in all crevices. Try not to make it too liquid, because if you do, when you turn the tower, the paste is gonna leak. While everything is drying, let's go make the relief I mentioned earlier on for the wall and the stone bridge. Very simple design. I was gonna use foam board in both cases, but then I remembered that we have the box of foam leftovers. So I checked and bingo, there's a piece with an almost perfect shape. Awesome. Let's make quickly the shape with hot wire cutter and then glue it to the main part. Before moving on to the roof, let's make room for the door. And let me tell you that the bridge is actually not ending on just a wall. No, this tower was built as a watchout tower to defend the landscape we're making in the next diorama. Sorry about being mysterious, but if you don't want to miss the next diorama, please subscribe. Anyway, that's the reason the access door is in the opposite part of the bridge, to make it easier to defend in case of an invasion or a siege. To connect both, we need to build a wooden structure that we're gonna make with the help of our friend, the Popsicle. Oh, hi there Popsy, how is it going? Yeah, what kind of popsicles do you think we should be using? Good ones. Okay, alright then. This is a watchtower, and so far there are not a lot of places in it from where to watch. Even if its attention is mainly towards one cardinal direction, it should have a 360 degrees view possibility. That's why we're doing a wooden structure on the top of it. I'm gonna grab our hexagonal base template and I'm gonna use it as a guideline for making the structure around it. Once the glue is dry, we're gonna put the pillars that will hold the roof in place with hot glue and 3mm foam board. And with 3mm foam board, we're gonna make 6 triangles for the roof. And this is where the things get slightly more complicated, but just slightly. Because if we didn't make each side of the wooden platform of the same size, well, this is the moment of truth. The pieces might not fit properly on the top. However, let me tell you that there is no need to redo the whole thing or to get frustrated, and this is probably the biggest lesson when making dioramas. In my opinion, when doing dioramas, what matters most is not how it looks at the beginning or during the process, but in the end. So if something didn't go as planned, just rethink the concept or find a way to get on with it. Just stay positive and give it a thought. And in case you didn't find a solution, let me know in the comments, and perhaps me or someone else can propose a nice fix. Once it's dry, I'm gonna go on applying a layer of black gesso on the foam so we can paint our tower later on. And I will start making the tiles for the roof. If you thought that cutting popsicles is awesome and you just couldn't stop making bricks out of foam because it's so much fun, let me introduce you to making tiles out of cardboard. With making tiles out of cardboard, you have the same tiresome activity of measuring like with the bricks, plus the absolute joy of cutting until your fingers hurt. It's the best of both worlds, and yes, it also comes with the feeling that you never cut enough. Unfortunately, at a certain point you'll have enough and it will be time to start gluing them to the roof. But don't worry, we will cut tiles again, I promise. It's time we go back to our friend the popsicle. I started making the handrail for the watchtower post out of popsicles, and the idea was fairly easy, as you can see, but... Okay guys, let me stop for a second because there's something I want to share with you. I was working on the upper part of the tower, and despite there were few things like the fences that I didn't fully like, I didn't want to stop, I didn't want to change anything, so I continued. But there I had this feeling inside like, this is not the way, I wasn't satisfied. So what did I do? I took a step backward, I took the upper part out, and I'm going to rework the fences, and I'm going to do it in a way that I am fully convinced this is the way I want it. I'm not gonna throw away what I did, but I'm gonna try something that I hope it looks better, and I will do it out of foam board and popsicles because I want a sturdier look. I'm gonna make the frame with popsicles, and some of these fences will be more damaged, some less, because in the end this is a very old but not long ago abandoned tower and it should feel that way. So yes, you guessed right, more popsicle cutting, yay! Okay, and now that they are dry, let's start putting them already in place. Of course, we can't forget about details. This structure needs some wooden beams, the staircase from the bridge to the main door with popsicles, the top of the tower with some milliput and leftover pieces, the doors, several things that if you're curious about the specifics, let me know in the comments and perhaps I can make a specific video about diorama details and tricks. But now let's go on with painting. Before starting, we need to cover the roof tiles with gesso, of course, and while that dries I will use my airbrush to give the tower walls the main color. I'm using a light gray because I'm applying a thin layer with the airbrush, but of course just remember that your first layer only sets the tone. Later you can go darker or lighter as you wish, it's just a matter of preference. And same with the tiles. Okay guys, so as you can see the tower is properly base coated, we're just missing few specific areas like the doors or the stairs, and as you can see they are made of popsicles. I explained in that video why I prefer to use oil paints for painting popsicles or that kind of material, so please go check it out. So I have a question for you guys. How would you approach painting a big structure like this? Would you paint it in the same way that you would a mini? I mean using the same techniques and the same kind of approach, or would you do something different? Of course there is no wrong answer there, but I'm very curious about what do you do. The tower looks a bit dull right now, nothing wrong about that, but a great thing about making dioramas for terrain is that we can improve reality, make it more appealing so as to speak. So to bring these walls a bit more alive, I'm gonna selectively paint some of the bricks with a blacker or whiter version of two colors, an ochre and an ultramarine blue. I'm gonna go randomly over the bricks, changing from grey to light ochre to a black and blue without cleaning my brush or caring about the mix, because for making realistic terrain we need to embrace randomness. And how are we bringing also the roof tiles a bit more alive? Dry brush with a light grey, and then we're gonna apply a thin down layer of a blue ink. And the reason I'm choosing an ink, I explained that in my last video, so please feel free to check it out. Of course, we need to highlight a bit more our stone walls and to use some oils on our wooden parts. I really like how some hot glue, wire and oils can easily make the impression we have at a real door, but I was looking at the tower and there was something missing, it looked incomplete. Of course, we need some green, some ivy climbing through the walls. I have a lot of footage, but I'm afraid this video's length is getting out of hand. So let me tell you that this is something incredibly easy to make with just some rope, thin wire and glue. And as you can see, it looks really good. But if you would like to see more about this or any other tricks, please let me know in the comments. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching. If you don't want to miss the landscape that this watchtower is guarding, please click that subscribe button, because that will help us a lot to get to more people and grow. And you won't miss the next chapter through these Uncharted ways. See you next week!